Welcome, beautiful Paris Saint-Germain family. I'm gonna be answering a quick Q&A, answering all of your questions that are asked on Twitter. So make sure to follow me on Twitter to be available for questions for the next Q&A. Let's do it. What signing has really blown your mind this season? Obviously, we've only seen preseason and 2 competitive games, but if I had to choose one, it has to be Manuel Ugarte. I hyped him up, I propped him up. Obviously, David was the first one to mention his name. But I would say I was the second one to really understand the hype of Manuel Ugarte, and I knew how good he was. I took the risk, and yeah, he's been better. He's honestly been better than what I expected. I thought like in the middle of the season he would be banging, but he's already banging 15 recoveries, 9 recoveries. He's just a beast. So yeah, obviously has to be Manuel Ugarte. Next question, why does your editor always cut out the uncomfortable questions? Well, now I know that. It won't be an issue anymore. It won't be an issue anymore. Because this video will not be edited. All right, next question. Thoughts on Hitler and the Holocaust? I don't know. I don't have any thoughts about it. I don't think about it. I have no thoughts about Hitler and the Holocaust. I have, some thoughts about the Holocaust, like the numbers being doubled and all of that, but not that important. Just give me a shout out, Idolo. Well, you gave it to yourself, I guess. Is Asensio the best player PSG has, and why is he the best PSG player? Well, he's not. Asensio, somewhere in his mind, thinks he's going to be a starter for Paris Saint-Germain, but I think with time he's going to understand that he's going to have an even worse role than what he had at Real Madrid, because he's just not that. He's just not that good. When is Pedro, Osimhen, and Harry Kane coming to PSG? Kane, it won't happen now because he's went to Bayern, but I could definitely, Osimhen, especially now with Gonçalo and Colomani being bought, I don't see him coming either. But Pedri, next summer, we're talking, baby. After another Europa League exit for a certain clownish club. Warren Zaire Emre, our best midfielder with Ugarte. Potentially, yes. At the moment, no. I still feel that Vitinha does more on the pitch than Warren. Obviously, if Marco Verratti as well. We haven't really seen Kang In Lee in the midfield, but I love Warren. Pele or Maradona? Great question. I think I'm gonna have to go with Pele, the man himself. Who's the biggest club in France and why is it Marseille? The biggest club in France, obviously, is Paris Saint-Germain. Most Coupe de Ligue, most Coupe de France, most Trophée du Champion, most Ligue 1 titles. Yeah, we're just one off. Went to a Champions League final. They have a Champions League final trophy. Not that big of a difference. Is Griezmann coming to PSG? And one more thing, Lee Kang-lee will play as a starter or not, and or we're winning the Champions League this season. Griezmann, at the moment, there's nothing concrete. Hopefully it happens. Mbappe has mentioned his name, but as I said, nothing concrete at the moment. Kang-lee, will he play as a starter? There is a big probability if we don't sign an offensive 8, and if Lucho starts playing in there, and yes, we'll definitely win the Champions League. Quaresma or Salah? Oof. I mean, individually as a player, I would say Quaresma, but I would say Salah has a better mentality. Salah has better consistency. Salah has never really flopped. I wouldn't even call him at Chelsea a flop. I would just say that Chelsea misused him. Whilst Quaresma flopped at Inter. Flopped with the Portuguese national team. Obviously had some good performances here and there, but I would still say flopped. So yeah, individual talent, Quaresma, but career Salah. Do you think PSG will make another signing before the window closes? Who do you think it is the most realistic one? Yeah, we will get Colomani, we'll get Bradley Barcola, probably get Ibrahim Sangare as well from PSV, and potentially one more. But I would say only those 3. Colomani, Barcola, and Sangare. If you had the authority to change one thing about our club, what would you change? If I had one thing, maybe, you know what? I mean, it's easy. Yeah, now that I think about it, it's easy. Get rid of the rat. Or suspend the ultras. If we lose the Champions League again, or maybe Ligue 1 or Coupe de France, we should not sack Enrique. We should give him more time, in my opinion. Give him 2 to 4 seasons. I mean, it obviously depends on how we lose the Champions League or Ligue 1 or something like that. But yeah, we'll see. I don't think we should sack any manager after 1 season. Should we bring Coupe de la Ligue back now that Ligue 1 has to reduce teams? Great question there from Hannibal PSG. I mean, I loved having dual cups. I loved watching more games and so on, but I don't think it's gonna come back. If you look at most league, no league has a league cup apart from the Premier League. La Liga doesn't have it, Bundesliga doesn't have it, Serie A doesn't have it, so it's more realistic that the Premier League will remove it and Liga adding it back. So no, I don't think even with that we should add it back. Who's going to be our next signing? As I said before, as the guy you're upping, it's going to be Colomani, after that Barcola, and then Sangare, or maybe Sangare ahead of Barcola. If you had to choose one player from every top 6 Prem club, who would it be and why? Great question. Top 6 clubs. Let's go with City. Who would I take from City? Obviously, Erling Haaland stands out, young, all of that. Even though we already bought Watchalong and soon the other player. I love Rodri. Rodri would be great for us. Obviously, Bernardo Silva. Love the guy. Love the player. Yeah, it's between one of them. The thing is, we've just signed Manu Ugarte. Could we play like a Rodri 6, Ugarte 8, Verratti 8? If that could work, I would go with Rodri. But, you know, just because of who he is, I would take Erling Braut Haaland. Sterling or Hazard? Who has a better booty? Hazard. Sterling has black tax, Somali tax, Jamaican tax. So I'm pick Hazard. I'm gonna pick Hazard. Is Liga in the top 5 leagues and what position? Yes. Well, look, according to the UEFA coefficient ranking, we're the 5th league. According to my opinion, we're the 3rd best league, ahead of La Liga and Bundesliga. And do you still think it's a good league, even if most of the time PSG the champion? What do you find better in this league than Premier League, La Liga, and why does Liga need to be more competitive and attractive? For Liga to become more competitive and attractive is for other teams in Liga to become more competitive other than just Paris Saint-Germain. I mean, Nice, I think Jim Ratcliffe owns them, the richest man in England, so he should invest more in his club. Monaco obviously have rich owners. Lyon just got American owners, Marseille. So when the other teams, because what they do is they use their teams as an economical thing. They bring up youngsters and then sell them for big fees to mostly Premier League clubs. So when they stop using their clubs as a business and actually try to be competitive, for example, what Monaco did in the 13-14 season when they bought Falcao, James Rodriguez, João Moutinho, all of these players, that's what I think Liga needs. I think the other teams need to be, you know what, more professional, more serious about competing in Ligue 1. And that would obviously be better, and obviously better TV rights. Like Ligue 1 earn by far the least amount of money in the top 5 leagues. So we should improve that. Do you watch UFC? Not anymore. I used to watch it ever since like when McGregor started, and then I switched to Khabib. Yeah, like McGregor was my favorite. Then Khabib became my favorite after McGregor said a lot of bad stuff about my religion, Islam. But ever since Khabib retired, I haven't watched. Obviously, I was a bit in that Makhachev Oliveira fight, and I love Khamzat as well. Favorite PSG transfer this summer? Manu Ugarte. Favorite current PSG player? I mean, Verratti is still a PSG player, so I'm gonna pick Marco Verratti. Least favorite PSG player ever? Ever? Tough question. Very tough question. Least favorite PSG player ever? Could be Adrien Rabiot. Adrien Rabiot. Would Dani Olmo be a good player for Lucha? Olmo has played on the Lucha before too. Yes, Olmo would be a good player. Could play that inverted winger role. He could even play as an offensive 8 in a 4-3-3. So yes, Dani Olmo would be a great player. How does it feel to win Varka? Pick unrelated. Yeah, I mean, listen, Barcelona has always, ever since, I don't know, since like 20, since the remontada, PSG's just gone up, Barca have just gone down, and we have been a large reason for Barca going down. And so yeah, we own Barcelona FC. Kefram Turam or Mano Kone? Kefram Turam. Messi or Ronaldo? Lionel Messi. Top 3 PSG seasons. You know what? I'm not gonna put them in order. So I'm gonna say obviously 1920, Champions League winning season. I'm gonna say 15-16, and then I'm gonna add in my first season as a PSG fan. So 12-13, 12-13, 15-16, last Zlatan season, first Di Maria season, and obviously 1920 when we reached the Champions League final. How long is your? I want to give a funny answer, but I think that any answer I give will have some indication, so I prefer to not answer this question. I prefer not to speak. Thoughts on Jude Bellingham? Great structural for Real Madrid, but in my opinion is a stat padder and doesn't have that much individual ability or quality. Thoughts on what happened on 9th of March 2022? Yeah, I mean Marquinhos and Donnarumma sold Paris Saint-Germain and gave Real Madrid one of the most luckiest victories I've ever seen. Real Madrid obviously deserved to win, but yeah, it's our blame, it's our fault. How big is your wood? Again, I will not give an answer because it will give an indication to how big my wood is. Who becomes PSG's main man when Barcelona buys Kylian Mbappe? That question is like, I don't know, who becomes the main man at Barca after, I don't know, listen. Barca, Lidor, stop. All right. Man, stop. How does it feel to own both Madrid and Barca? I mean, listen, Paris Saint-Germain, I've always said we're the biggest club in the world, and I think this summer has proven it even more. And hopefully, you know what? Hopefully, we got that Champions League. We got that juicy Champions League, so we can end it all. If you had to choose an under-23 player from any club, who would it be? I'm not 100% like into every under-23. I think Haaland is above that, or could be that. But I'm gonna choose obviously Pedri Gonzalez from FC Barcelona. Great question there. How did you start supporting PSG of all teams? 3 reasons. My favorite player is Zlatan Ibrahimovic. I'm Swedish as well. He went to Paris Saint-Germain, obviously. And then I have a lot of family in Paris, and at that time it was an extremely unique club, especially in Sweden where I was living. Nobody supported PSG, so I was like, you know what, let me pick this club. Would you trade Verratti for Goretzka? Absolutely no. I wouldn't even trade Fabian Ruiz for Goretzka. I don't want Goretzka at this club. Who belongs to your top 3 players in your world in order? At the moment in the world, Messi, Neymar, Mbappe. But if we're not, I mean, you said world, so yeah, Messi, Neymar, Mbappe. But if we're not choosing, you know what, maybe I put Neymar ahead of Messi. Neymar, Messi, Mbappe. But if we're only choosing Europe, Mbappe, Vini, Pedri. Pedri or Bellingham? Pedri. It's so clear, man. Is Jude Bellingham the best? Yeah, the best at being mid. When will PSG ever get a Champions League? This season. PSG Go trophyless. Is PSG finished? Oof. I mean, we have really high standards here, and I don't think I've ever seen. Yeah, I've never seen Paris Saint-Germain go trophyless. So yeah, that would be an extremely finished season. Will you have sex with me? No. Respectfully. Will Luis Enrique bench Hakimi? Maybe. He lost the ball most times in last game versus Toulouse. And one thing we know about Lucho is he loves possession. And if you're losing the ball, he doesn't like it. Mbappe is renewing his contract. High probability of that happening. Yes, sir. If PSG play good next season. Is Jeremy Doku a good player? Yes, he's a great player, great potential. Obviously, the thing he has to work on is efficiency. He's a great dribbler, great volume dribbler. He just needs that shooting ability better and playmaking ability better. But I think he's a great signing for City. Can really be a Grealish type there on the right side, Bernardo type. Must try. Well, beautiful Paris Saint-Germain family. That's been it for the Q&A. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. Obviously, weird questions as usual. Normal questions as usual. That's been it. Smash the subscribe button if you're new here. And if you enjoyed me answering question, smash the like button if you enjoyed the video. And as usual, allez, bye.